Hey everyone, it's Donald. We're gonna go live real quick. Which I say quick. Last time it's been about an hour or so. But give it a couple minutes, see if we get some people online, talk about some stuff. So, but hopefully you guys have had a good day. If you guys are watching this replay, appreciate you guys hanging around. Um, I know we've been getting more and more viewers, kind of watching what we got going on over on this site or on this channel. But yeah. So just looking at a couple of different, I see we got one person on. Say hello. I'll try not to talk too loud today. My wife actually just had surgery, so she's upstairs recovering, trying to get some sleep. So she's on some pretty good medication, but try not talking too loud. So if I'm not talking loud enough, please let me know, and I can definitely change that up. So Mary, good evening. Well, for me, it's still afternoon. It's only about 3 o'clock, so it's not too bad. What time is it where you're at? So, Alaska lady, hey, I know where you're at. You're down there in Juneau. So, hopefully they get you all of the parts that you need, like we were talking about the other day. So hopefully they get you back up and running. So, but so I've been having some talks with D Freeze. I talked to them the other day. So it looks like they're still chugging along, getting some stuff going for their freeze dryer. In fact, I was just looking at their website a second ago, and on their blog, it talks about Muddy Dog. Hello. On their blog, it actually talks about they did some alpha testing with some people, and originally they were planning on March, April launch, but now it's looking like maybe a May, June launch. So like planning that. I know they're working on some stuff. Um, oh, I'm glad I'm able to help you inform. Uh, hopefully, I'm able to help you inform. I'm trying my best not to be hating on right as much as I probably have been, but it's been kind of hard, honestly. So they delayed their launch, but they talk about wanting to make sure they have a quality product and all that stuff. So I can appreciate that. I think a lot of you guys could probably appreciate that too. Um, they could even instantly, hey, we're just going to throw these out there. If they need repair, we'll repair them. If they don't need repair, then cool, we made the money off of it. But knowing that they're willing to make sure they get this thing right. In fact, William, if I'm correct, if William joins us today, uh, he's one of the owners over there working with his wife. He actually quit his job in, I think it was August or September, he was saying, and this is kind of what he's been doing full time. So, seeing, that's sure. Yeah. So, which brand of freeze dryer people to go with? That's the great question, right? Right. So, on one hand, you have Harvest Right. They've been out for a long time. Uh, However, I've been seeing more and more issues happen with those. Um, and I think that the quality controls is not there. I've talked to Dan and other people within Harvest Right and talked to them about this quality control, what I believe they should be doing before they release machines out to people and making sure they fix stuff that they know is wrong with the machines. I still don't see any of these machines heading out with a thermistor bypass. Uh, 10 months ago when I went to learn about these machines. That was something they were doing. Every single machine that came through that was getting fixed. And I was told they were all going to be getting that bypass done before they ever got shipped out. However, that's definitely not been the case. I've seen many people who have their temperatures fluctuating a lot. And later, when I look at in contact with me, if we can, you're a pain in the butt. Just depends on their eyes. Well, we personally save up right now anyway from what everything I see from the defreeze. That's what I would save up for. So their machine is obviously a lot bigger than Stay Fresh machine. It's more expensive, but knowing that they're willing to put their product like full launch on hold to make sure they try getting it the best as possible, um, I think is very, to me as a consumer, I think is very good of them to make sure they're trying to get it right. Uh, and then on top of that, if you're using small machines, you're using like a 15 amp circuit. The defreeze will be using a 15 amp circuit. You won't have to go get a dedicated circuit, and they're still doing the 25 pounds of food. So for me, Mary, that's where I would go with that for sure. So uh, and they're going to create a smaller machine as well. So and they're supposed to be creating an even bigger machine. So I don't want to give all the secrets out that DeFreeze has going on, but just because that one large machine is like $7,000 doesn't mean another machine. I can't speak for the company, right? But doesn't mean another machine might not be $5,000 or something like that. So launching costs, I was just looking it up. It says June, hopefully, and the large machine, which is an equivalent to an extra large harvest, right? If I remember the numbers correct on the extra large harvest, right? Um, it will be equivalent to that. Let me click this extra large real quick. I had the websites pulled up just in case if I did need to verify some info. So this is up to 30 pounds of food in the extra large harvest rate, um, where you can do 20 to 25 pounds in theirs in the defreeze. But having a 15 amp circuit, not having to install a 20 amp circuit is probably very beneficial to a lot of people. So, um, any other questions you got, Mary, about any freeze dryers? I know I got somebody else on here. People have been coming off and on. I think my internet might not be the greatest, but welcome to Alaska, unfortunately. So it says I'm connected. It says it's good, but um, so I think the biggest thing I really want to talk about is, let me see here. Um, uh, this new 24 software, right? I'm trying to get some more data from people. However, um, what I'm seeing for the most part is people either stuck in the freezing vacuum freeze, where it's like, man, it'll vacuum freeze for like 5 minutes and then go back to extra freezing needed. Like, I love it how the company itself says, "Oh, too much sublimation's happening." Well, no sublimation's happening. I'm sorry to tell you, it's called you're pumping all the air out. You haven't started heating anything. No sublimation's happening. I like the excuse, but it's not a good one. Um, so in turn, there's just a problem with that stuff. Um, and then people freeze drying food in like 5 hours. I've seen people with that issue. Your food ain't gonna freeze dry in 5 hours. Let me help you out. So in turn, like we're having people do extra freeze time for 24 hours and all this other stuff, and then they're having to pay attention, which just shows that the software itself is not good software. They're gonna claim by it all day long, but it's not good. It's not good software, in my personal opinion. Um, do they know? Does it run hot like freeze dry or cool like stay fresh? So I'm not sure what you mean by that comment. Hot like harvest right or cooler like stay fresh. So I don't want to stay fresh yet, so I can't answer that question 100%. Um, but if you're talking about the pumps I know are different. That being said, Tim from Stay Fresh told me point blank he wasn't a big fan of his pump compared to the Harvest Right. I don't know if he'll stand by those comments, in writing, but I know he wasn't a big fan compared to that. Hey, so the help you have for your Harvest Right is unfortunately you can call Harvest Right, but I hear it's kind of expensive to call the United States sometimes. But the Facebook page, Freeze Dryer Repair Support, this channel. I'm getting ready to release. I'm currently figuring out how to make a website. I just bought a domain, so it's fixmyfd.com. So fixmyfreezedryer.com. So once I get that up and running, I'll actually go more into detail on steps and all that type of stuff. That will be a free website for everybody. We'll have links to all the YouTube stuff. I'll put a donation on there if you guys want to donate to everything that I got going on, but it'll still be a free site. I'm not like out here to just make money off of people at the end of the day. I want to make sure you guys' machines are up and running. If I get to stay fresh and I can actually figure out how to get that machine up and running, if there's problems and stuff, then we'll add a stay fresh unit. And then the same thing with the defreeze, right? So if there's any upgrades to the defreeze, or say if there's issues with the defreeze, I'll also help out with that. But hopefully the defreeze company, they figure it out while they're doing all their manufacturing, their testing, and all that type of stuff that they're currently working on right now. So Tim, I appreciate the thanks, man. I can't do it without all your guys' support at the end of the day, right? I'm causing a lot of waves within the freeze dry community. Um, and I don't know if it's good or bad. I want to say it's good, right? I'm trying to hold people accountable for what they have going on. Some people don't like outsiders poking holes in their program. I get it. Um, but we got to poke holes in the program hopefully to make it better. And so if you just have a bunch of yes people around you, you're never going to make your company better. You're never going to make your product better. You're never going to make anything like that better. When I lead airmen, I ask airmen, hey, what can I do better? And I think it's important that the airmen understand that I know I'm not perfect. I go to mental health every single week. I go see a mental health counselor for um, seeing people blowing up in Iraq, or we recently had a bear attack last year in Alaska, and I was the first person on scene for that death, unfortunately. Um, I won't say first person because he did have other people with him. I was the first military, police, security forces person, first responder on scene for that death, unfortunately. So in turn, I know I'm not perfect at the end of the day, and I want people to help me become better. And the only way to become better is by knowing your downfalls or knowing where you're lacking. And if you guys are thinking you're perfect, hey, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not. Okay, we all got stuff we got to work on. If that's our home life, if that's maybe how we just produce at work or anything like that. Um, it's just something we all really need to look in the mirror and see, hey, what do I need to work on today? There's a new app I recently found. It's called Blinkist. It's pretty much 30-minute little conversations about books, about leadership, about financials, about stuff like that. I've actually used it going back and forth to work. So in turn, hopefully I'm learning some stuff. Hopefully my airmen, like it and stuff, because definitely I've been trying to. Um, Mary, that's why for one, the freeze dryer repair support group, you said if somebody can't read the comments, I tried making it to where everybody could. but HR tech support is not very good. I think there are good people that work at HR, right? There's good people that understand the system. I think the way they implement and get those people working is probably not the best, right? Those people, in my opinion, need to be knowledgeable on how to repair a machine and not read strictly from a script, right? Most of the time, if you guys have done any work with me, I work with a lot of people, and I always usually ask the same dang questions, and you guys are probably tired of hearing them, right? How many ice rings do you have inside your machine? And have you done the Felix fix? And the reason why I ask those questions is because 99% of machines that we probably deal with have to deal with those right there. So I did just get a message letting me know that the Harvest-Right XL freeze dryers have started shipping. So we'll definitely see that here soon. I want to know some info about those. But so in turn, their people need to understand how to fix these freeze dryers and understand exactly what's being asked upon the customer, right? So most of you guys are seeing high M tours when you're running candy mode. And when you run candy mode, yes, it freezes the drum down, but you still have to get to that low mTOR for candy mode to work properly to keep that heat going and all that other type of stuff. So when you have a 7,800 mTOR, it means your machine's not operating to what it really should be. And in turn, the temp's going to go down to try getting your mTOR lower. And that's how the machine works and why you guys see the up and down, right? Is when it gets colder in the machine, the mTORs are able to get lower while the sublimation and everything else is happening, right? So that's why I tell people, hey, don't stare at your machine, don't do all that type of stuff, is because it's going to go up and down, and you're just going to drive yourself crazy trying to understand, hey, how does this machine working and all this other type of stuff. If you want to know how it works because you're staring at your machine and you see it going up and down, and I talked to a lady today about this exact thing. So the way it really works is when it gets cold, and that's why you guys, we tell you guys to turn on the freeze when we do the testing. We freeze that drum down. We then vacuum out all the pressure out of there, right? When you turn on that heat, in turn, you're going to start seeing that mTOR start going up again, and then when that heat turns off, that mTOR will start dropping back down. And if you look at your log files, you guys will actually see this as well. So you guys can look at your shelving units, and it will tell you, well, on the left side, you have the date, and then the next log, if I remember correct, is the your mTOR. So you got, and if you look further, you'll see one that says shelf and then ambient temp. And then in there, you'll see the shelf temp go up and down, but you're also going to see your mTORs doing the exact same thing. So when you're going to see it go colder, you're going to see your mTORs go down. And then when it gets warmer, your mTORs are going to slowly go up until you're almost done completely with the freeze drying process. Once you're done with that freeze drying process, then your mTORs will pretty much keep lowering down and down and down because there's not as much sublimation going on within your food. So that's what upsets me when Harvest-Right claims this vacuum freeze problem is causing sublimation to happen too fast. Like, that doesn't happen because there's no heat going to your food. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't take a lot of heat to start the sublimation process, but there's no sublimation happening when your trays are still frozen. There's nothing else like that going on. So if somebody's on here and you can maybe explain it better, or maybe I'm just flat out not understanding what's actually happening, hey, I'm open ears and willing to understand. I've asked Harvest-Right to assist me with that knowledge and understanding. However, they don't want to release any details on their software, exactly how it happens and stuff like that. So I'm not here to bash Harvest-Right. Okay, I know I've got some like videos that obviously have some air, like some things that is going on, but I'm not here to bash Harvest Right. This is a repair like YouTube. I want to help repair your guys' machines. I want to do lives because I think there's people that maybe still have questions about what's going on, or maybe there's something I'm just not seeing that's going on. Um, Relays getting stuck is something that we see a lot right now. And that's mainly on the lower versions of like 17, 18, 19. Um, have fun. Hopefully they aren't playing in too much snow there, Alaska lady. Got to go get the dogs. So, um, but I would like to know people who have Stay Fresh units. Do we have anybody with a Stay Fresh unit on today? Because I think there's a lot of information that people want to know. Unfortunately, I just haven't had a chance to really play with this thing. We will look at their warranty right now. I have Stay Fresh's warranty up. They have a 1 year warranty in the United States. Um, it looks like they'll repair or replace without charge, except if you live in Alaska, Hawaii, or Puerto Rico, you got to pay the shipping and handling um, and insurance that will be incurred. That could be a lot of money, right? So um, they talk about the refrigeration system, the capacitor, the condenser, the evaporator is covered by a 2 through 3 year limited warranty. I don't understand how you have a 2 through 3. Um, but they're going to have an option to repair or replace any parts which have been proven to be defective in material when it's installed, used, or maintained. Um, and then if you have a freeze dryer, you're covered internationally. You're covered with a limited 1 year warranty. So in turn, it looks like they're going to, at their option, they'll diagnose and send any replacement parts that might need to be done. You're also covered by a 2 3 year, but it doesn't talk about anything about shipping the unit back. So I'm not sure, like this international one, I have a feeling they're probably not shipping. They're expecting you to do all the fixes, would be my assumption. So the question is if you should do the Felix fix right away if you bought a Harvest Right machine. My answer to that is yes. Yes, your machine might work and you might get some stuff through it. And I've talked about this before. The way they kind of, what I assume is happening, because there's no way to obviously prove this. What I assume is happening is the Teflon that is super, super thick on your epoxy harness, your vacuum sensor. And I think that sun might be pretty. All that stuff is melting at the high temperature when they turn the heat on for your outgassing, and it's melting any holes that were kind of in there. And then as you run it, it's actually slowly deteriorating all the stuff because it's not properly installed. And so you're eventually going to get those leaks, right? So I'd rather just have it run as perfect as possible. The one I have in my garage, the very first thing I did was take off the epoxy harness. I took off the vacuum sensor. I redid those items, and I put the stretch and seal tape. As I told you guys, right? It's not meant as a Band-Aid, right? So we do the other items to make sure it's not a Band-Aid. If you just wrap those without doing everything else and reinstalling and making sure they're right, yes, I would consider that somewhat of a Band-Aid. But there are some people who just cannot get that epoxy harness nut off. So I talked to a lady today. Her nut looks all the way down. That's where it's leaking from 100%, but she cannot get that nut off. But that's just me. So I will say you're in Canada, and I just received some new stuff about the Canada stuff. And it looks like you just want to verify with the documentation. There's some new documentation showing the certification of December of 2022, but the residential like home units aren't covered in that electrical stuff. But if you're looking at a pharmaceutical one, you just want to ask them for the documentation that shows that it actually meets the Canadian certification and everything like that. So some units do, some don't, from the document that I saw anyway today. But it's weird because they call them refrigerators, and they're sure in the hell not a refrigerator or a freezer. They're definitely different than those type of machines. Um, yeah, Tim. So some people are in it for the money. You know, I'm assuming. I have to say assume because um, I don't know, right? I'm assuming Harvest Right has some people that maybe run those pages that work for them, or maybe they get a kickback. Who knows? I'm not here looking for a kickback of anybody. I'm just looking to speak the damn truth. Um, but freeze dried at 40's page. I wonder what video you. Uh, oh, the video chat. Yeah, I don't know. They just yeah, they got affiliate links and all that other type of stuff. I don't have affiliate links to anything. I should probably look into it. I'll be honest, but um, you know, I'm currently doing some research. We have a lot of people that do the Felix Fix or want to do the Felix Fix, and depending on where they live, they just can't get the stuff or it's super far away. So I'm currently looking at getting the ball valves where I can find them as in bulk as possible that are good quality. The stretch and seal tape I'm trying to find in good quality. Uh, I'm trying to get and decently priced, right? The silicone as well, and then obviously Mega Tape. I personally like Mega Tape, so I think I found a place that provides it at a decent price. Um, and then Felix is currently on vacation, as everybody knows. But when she gets back, I'll be talking to her about maybe her shipping those things out for me, us, however she really wants to do it, because the shipping to her is way cheaper than shipping it up here to Alaska. I don't know if people know this or not, but Alaska is part of the United States. It's pretty scary, I know. But people who ship USPS and stuff like that, um, for some reason, when you contact the company and ask, hey, is there a reason why you can't ship to Alaska? They say, well, we only ship to the United States. So it's pretty funny when people do that type of stuff. But you know, it costs the same amount of money to ship to Seattle, Washington, as it does to Anchorage, Alaska. So they're in the same zone. They don't charge a crazy amount of. They don't charge any extra money to actually ship to us. So in fact, I just applied for a passport today, and for me to ship it to Philadelphia was the same price as if somebody in Seattle was shipping it. So nothing crazy on that end, for sure. Um, there are some, so we'll end up looking at that. I showed you guys the hydraulic hose that I've been using. I talked to multiple people about that hose. Um, I think the hose works great for the amount of time that I've used it. I've had no issues with the hose. I used it this last weekend on somebody else's machine, and it worked great. Um, there's some people that are worried about if it's food safe or not, which obviously it's a hydraulic hose. It's not food safe, but all the air is technically coming out of the food and going out that tube, right? It shouldn't be going into your food area. Um, so I'm one to say that we're probably pretty safe to use it. However, once again, um, you know, you talk about Stay Fresh. Any modifications, changes of the freeze dryer, the warranty doesn't include. Harvest Right does the same exact thing. So even though a lot, and I won't say all, but a lot of their um, hoses suck. That's just a fact. They leak and stuff like that. Um, there's let's see, exclusions, any modifications or add-on aftermarket accessories will void the warranty its an entirety, right? I don't think they can really do this legally. I'd be surprised, right? You're talking about a hose. It doesn't change the way your system runs. The only thing I maybe think they could maybe get you on is if we go with the hose that I'm looking at. It's 3/4 of an inch, which is the same size hose they used to actually supply. Um, but if your machine is running properly, the condenser's working properly, you're getting the correct amount of ice, all that type of stuff, right? The 3/4 inch hose should not matter because everything would stick to the sidewall as your gas and everything like that. That being said, I think they went to the smaller hose because they obviously have freon leaks at some point, or they have something else going on, or the relay board just isn't working right, and in turn, um, they're having issues. So it says um, incidental damage says it's proper. So coincidental or incidental damage, such as but not limited to property damage and incidental expenses resulting from any breach of this written or implied warranty. Um, so yeah, honestly, you guys should probably read this warranty. If you look down the bottom, it actually says they won't do any claims for personal injuries, incidental or coincidental damages, or economic loss, profit of, or revenue, however caused. So even if it's their fault, they will not cover it because however it's caused, they won't cover it. So even if it burns down your house, obviously they claim they ain't going to take care of any damages according to the warranty anyway. And then if it says on top of that, if you're not the original owner of the freeze dryer, the warranty no longer applies. I have to do research. I'll have to turn around and try finding it. But according to somebody, they shared some law stuff with me. That's actually legal. It has to actually keep going. So to the next person. So I am not real familiar with the pharmaceutical units at all. However, from my understanding, the Stay Fresh, which is only about 3,000 bucks, it's 3,000 bucks. From my understanding, their software is actually pretty good and it's pretty pharmaceutical type style. It gives you a lot of options. It requires a lot of learning. I was talking to one guy about it and he was showing me, and then he got busy with a customer, and then we just never did connect again. Life gets busy. So if you're wanting like the software version that pharmaceuticals going to kind of make, I would honestly look at a Stay Fresh unit. That's just me though. Um, so yeah, Mary, you're still going to have the wire harness on a 2017 model. Um, I just helped somebody with one of these models not long ago, but maybe it's best we get on a one-on-one video chat. Um, if you look on my YouTube videos, I have a one-on-one video, and in there actually has the link. I don't remember the link off the top of my head to schedule a one-on-one chat with me. I don't charge any money for that. So if you want to get a one-on-one chat, definitely do that. And anybody else who's on this today, if you need one-on-one support, and I do those, I think I have it scheduled out to like 10 o'clock at night. And there's times if you send me a message on Facebook, I might answer you at like 11, 12 o'clock. I'm not going to lie. There's other times where I'm in bed. So normally I'm up at like 3 in the morning to go to work. This last week, since the wife had surgery, I've been up at all hours of the day making sure she gets her medication and all that type of stuff. So, uh, but yeah, you guys might want to look at this warranty a little bit more from Harvest Right, because it sounds like they're trying to make sure they write themselves off on anything. But I have a feeling that that some of that stuff might be not really something they can do. Um, so I'm looking at Stay Freshes now, just trying to see if there's anything that kind of goes out to me. Um, let's see. I don't think anything crazy. Um, really sticks out. Um, Obviously, if you have services performed by an unauthorized service company, use parts other than genuine parts of Stay Fresh, um, then that can void your warranty. But overall, so it's weird though, because in here it talks about this warranty does not include damage resulting from misuse, abuse, negligence, accidents, transportation damage, inadequate power supplies, fires, or acts of God. Like, what if this machine caused a fire? I don't even know like the answer to that. Like, I'm trying to uh oh, yeah, you're 45 you're 45 bucks to harvest, right? Yeah, it's probably been long gone. You got your 15 minutes from them. Um, so Tim, you talk about the oilless pumps, right? So I've heard that some of those pumps are going to Canada because those are the only ones that are maybe certified to be used in Canada. But I'll just be straight up honest. I'm not a fan of those pumps. I'm not a fan of any of their oilless pumps. I would rather buy two Premier pumps and um, change the oil in them every once a month or whatever it is than have to worry about an oilless pump that I just paid 1,800 bucks for. And honestly, I'm trying to find where I can get you guys pumps cheaper than what the Harvest Right's paying for the damn thing anyway, because I don't want them to keep taking all your guys' money. I'll just be straight up and honest. I don't want them taking all your money. After you're out of warranty, they charge you $45 to try getting help to get your machine back up and running. Maybe they should offer an extended warranty, maybe to cover that for 2 or 3 years and charge money for it. But I think everybody would probably buy an extended warranty. But the problem is are they going to honor it the way that you'd want them to honor it? I don't know the answer to that. But the little pumps need to be every year. I think it is. They're supposed to be rebuilt, and so that's kind of where the problem is with oilless pumps. And I deal with more and more people who have oilless pumps. I've been dealing with vacuum issues with, and we've done the Felix fix, we've done all that stuff, and they put a normal pump on and it works fine. So we know it's the oilless pump that's the problem. Um, the problem is getting Harvest Right to admit that there's a problem with that pump because it's an $1,700 pump or whatever it is. Um, and they don't want to be forking out pumps like that to anybody. So they used to on a very normal basis sending people out pumps and not asking for you to return the other one. So it does talk about the normal wear and tear scratches on your acrylic door on the Stay Fresh, which is the same thing. Harvest Right gets the same type of scratches, and I don't know if Defreeze will. I don't know if they're going to use the same style of door. They're obviously been working on stuff trying to find ways to improve products and everything like that. So I'm trying to look up their blog right now to see if they kind of talk about. Obviously, they got a new design. That requires a 15 amp plug to operate. 8-tray independent heating system. So if you guys have not looked at the Defreeze website, go to d-freeze.com and you really look at the blog that they have. Um, yeah, so we don't talk normally about how to. We don't talk about in our group how to buy new pumps and buy new stuff like that. We're strictly on repairing, and that group is repair. And a lot of people honestly get deleted if they just say, "Hey, my name's so and so. Thanks for inviting me to your group." It's not a repair question, so it gets deleted. So we want people to be able to ask a repair question, and we go about our day, right? Even the YouTube is way different than what you see in the repair site. And because the YouTube, we're able to give more information out. And like personally, it's my information, right? This is not Felix's information. If you guys see a video from Felix, that's hers, right? But if you see a video from me, that's 100% Donald, and I'll take full credit for any hate mail that I might get. But the Facebook page is a strictly 100% trying to help people get up and running, fix machines. We don't want any hate going on in there or anything like that. Like it's strictly like, hey, how do we get machines working? Like I'm not going to help you figure out how to get candy mode working in there. I'll just be honest, because the machine itself works. But back to defreeze real quick. So they have an 8-tray system, right? 8 independent heating system. They have a new patent. Each tray has its own control system, ensuring that the applied heat is the same on each shelf. So where we see a lot of problems at with our, at least I can say for the harvest rate machine, that I hear a lot of problems, and I have it myself, is the like lower tray normally never gets as hot as the middle ones, and then the top one is definitely a difference as well. So what they're saying is each one is going to have an independent system attached to it. So in turn, we shouldn't be having that. And then standardized sizing. So you guys are going to see different tray. They're going to use standard half baking racks. So they're going to be 13 by 18-inch trays, which I think is amazing because in turn, you can go to Walmart or wherever and buy yourself new trays, and you don't have to spend $100 or whatever it is on 5. So definitely, definitely a bonus for the racks. And if you don't clean it right or whatever, and you just want to replace it, you go out and replace it. Removable and cleanable shelves. Man, William and your team, you guys are impressing me more and more as I actually read down your blog. None of you guys can get your hand. If you got hands like me, you ain't getting your hands in there to clean that thing, right? So I was using a baby bottle brush for the longest time to clean out my tray system. This right here says they're removable and cleanable shelves. So it's you can remove each tray and wash them independently to get a much better clean without having to remove an entire heating system. So yeah, I mean, Wi-Fi connectivity is expected to be completed by July of this year. So when we were talking about the system, I expect July probably for the defreeze. Replacement parts. Every part of the machine has been designed to be replaced as a modular component. Simply disconnect, twist, and pull the component out, and then no major engineering is required for repair. In the event that cooling systems fail or require a top off, our team has created standard charge points that any refrigerant provider will be able to use. And then they did a door redesign. That seems like a change they did. Have added a fold flat door hinge This ensures that you can fold the door up and against the far side of the machine to get it out of the way. Oh, that that sounds pretty cool. Like I hate how that door just flips back and forth all the time. Armstrong, a little bit about the hoses. Nobody really mentioned anything about the hose though when I talked about it. Um, so I talked to the hydraulic place that makes the hoses. I talked to other hydraulic places. They believe the hose would withstand what we use it for. I've tested it for about a week now. I believe the hose would survive. I can't say for how long, right? Because it would take 6 months of use and abuse and everything else to really make sure. Um, Sharon, thanks for joining. I live in Alaska, so I'm guessing some of my feed is probably just crappy old Alaska internet too. But the hose, everyone says that it should be able to withstand. I've talked to some other freeze dry companies. I've talked to people that have been doing freeze drying. Food safe. Um, but the way I look at it is I'll be coming back into when to put pre-order of items and try getting them bulk. And they said it was going to be which bulk somewhere. That's kind of where we're going. So stuff already. We've talked. Pull this off, man. Pretty legit. I know I fill this thing up with some Skittles. Skittles ran. I fast. I definitely. So this is all in Canadian. So it says 9,500 Canadian for the let's see, the large one. They also are going to release a medium and a small, and it doesn't really talk about the pricing on it, but it's still, all of them say they still have an independent heating system. It looks like they're also going to have the forced air fan cooling for quick freeze, a HEPA filter representation system. So I know what it is, and I just can't speak very well. Um, so right now, when we open up our drain valves, we let in any and everything of air into our machine. And what that is it's going to make sure it goes through a HEPA filter before it actually goes back into your machine. So that's pretty cool. You're gonna have clean air hitting your food and not whatever is in your garage or whatever. So I think that's pretty cool. Wi-Fi enabled, and then right now they're all Canadian made in Alberta. So they do have a pre-order list. I don't know if it's full or anything like that. I'll click here and check to see. We'll see what it says for pre-orders, because I know talking to them, they're only going to do so many systems a quarter, I believe, if I remember correct, because they want to make sure that they have high quality stuff. So I know we got some more people on here. What issues do you guys got going on? We talked about the 24 software. Hopefully, I talked about it enough where it made sense. We talked about the hoses. We talked about the new website that I'm going to be working on. Fixmyfd.com is going to be that website domain once I actually get it up and running. Right now, it gives you guys the nothing. And then, depending on what I can find, I did buy another domain, but yeah, we'll talk about it. I did buy another domain, but it just depends if we really are going to use it or not. But it's pimpmyfreezedryer.com, pimpmyfd.com. In turn, I have some people showing me different ways of redoing the drain hose actually out of the Harvest Right and using metal to drain hose that out. And actually, so that way it's a very secure connection. So that's one thing that I'm looking at. If we do that, I know there's other people that want to redo the relay boards that are currently in the Harvest Right machines. There's other people that want to redo the whole Harvest Right system, and you would actually fix the whole system. And if they're willing for me to be able to resell those and get those to you guys, that will probably go on that site. And that's why I really bought that other domain. But the biggest domain we're going to use is fixmyfd.com once I get that up and running. If you guys know somebody that is a website guru that wants to help, I don't mind paying some money. I just don't have a lot because as you guys know, all this is ran off of donations. That's the only thing I run off of. So, uh, no oil, lubrication, faster mechanical wear. I've never seen any companies oilless pumps before changing them. Yeah. So, you talk about oilless pumps and stuff. Uh, yeah, I just don't buy them. That's my personal opinion about it. Is don't buy an oilless pump. So, buy yourself a um, Premier pump, and as long as you're in warranty, Harvest Right wants you to keep using their pumps. However, I know many people that once they're out of warranty, and I won't say if they're in warranty or not because I really don't know. They're definitely using other pumps, and they don't have any issues that they've been having. So I'm currently looking at, hey, how do we get those, and try getting you guys the best price on them. And if I can't, then I just share on my page on my website whenever I get it up and running where those pumps are. Um, so if you guys have other brand pumps, let me know in the comments. What other brand of oil can we use in these pumps? So don't use Harvest Right oil. That's my personal opinion. They already took a lot of money from you. Use Robin Air, Black Gold. Those are typically the ones that I've used. It's suggested not to use the Dairyland brand. Uh, I've heard something about it being used in um, some of the old standard pumps. Chris, I will look at Edwards Pumps and Biomed Equipment because if they never fail, then it's worth probably whatever they charge for the system. Um, so I'll Google those pumps later today and get looking at those pumps as well. So Navac is another one. That's another brand of pumps. I don't know how good they are. I know they ship very well. It sounds like they ship very well. They make sure and then BVV, they also have their own brand of pumps. It looks like they're like a purple pump, and those ones look pretty good. But I don't know everything about them, right? I haven't tested them and everything like that. So, um, but Chris, I will definitely check out Edwards pumps. So, anything else? I know somebody else has something. They have some freeze dryer question that has been burning in their mind for the last week or whatever. And how many of you guys is this your first time on a live with this channel? I mean, I know some of you guys have been hanging around for a while. If you just recently joined us, I appreciate it. We try our best to try fixing issues that are kind of going on in the freeze dryers that we have currently. They're all coming from one company because that company is just the biggest company, and that's just the way it is. Um, so, uh, Gerald, thanks for joining us in Michigan, man. Do you guys got snow out there? They were saying we were supposed to get like 4 to 6 inches here in Alaska. However, I think we got like half an inch. They are not very good at predicting it. So the last time they told us we were going to get 1 inch of snow back in December, we ended up with 40 inches. So figuring out who's getting snow and who's not is something that the weather is not very good, at least up here, predicting. Over in Michigan, I'm sure you guys got the Great Lakes and everything like that. So you guys get that lake effect snow probably. And I'm guessing that's probably harder for them to predict as well. So, any Alaska people in here? Or heck, man, the other day we had somebody from, oh, man, I've been talking to a couple people from other countries. New Zealand, El Salvador, I talked to somebody. Australia, we talked to somebody. So I know we're kind of all over the place now getting people. So um, if you guys have friends that have freeze dryers, please share this page with them. Um, I'll check out Ryan Hall, y'all, on YouTube. Yeah, I'll check them out. But if you guys have people with freeze dryers, share this page with them. Like it's all about, yeah, there's some stuff that talks about new software, it talks about whatever, but if they have freeze cycle issues, there's a video for it. If they have vacuum leaks, we have the Felix Fix video for it. We have all that type of stuff. So it's really about trying to make sure we get people up and running as best as we can, so that way we can definitely get you guys your money's worth on something you spent 3, 4, 7,000 bucks on, or whatever you spent. If you're Mary, thanks for joining us. Um, if you're in Australia, you probably spent a good chunk of money to get this thing shipped to you and everything else like that. I know for us in Alaska, so I've always bought mine locally. So I bought it at Sportsman's Warehouse, or we have something called Three Bears. So what it is Three Bears is like a local store here in Alaska. But what they do typically is they buy stuff at probably a discounted rate from Costco, and then they re-put it in their stores and obviously mark it up. But it's in like more rural areas. So here in Anchorage, we have a couple of Costco's. We don't have any Three Bears. But if you go up just 45 minutes north of here, there's zero Costco's, but there's a Three Bears, and they provide them service. And then if you go to Kenai or whatever, there's no Costco's, and it's the same thing. Veronica, I'm glad I can be a stress reliever. Um, leave your 16 on your machine. If Harvest Right tells you to update that thing, if you don't need candy mode, leave your 16 exactly where it is. Um, we're gonna try being here for you guys. So I think we're gonna be here for a while for sure. They cost 8 to 10,000 in Australia. Oh man, and only medium and large sizes are available. Alex, I think we talked to Alex. I think were you the Alex I talked to online? You were talking with Felix about getting your stuff up and running. Um, so thanks for joining us, man. I'm sure that the time zone's probably different. I actually have some Air Force friends that are currently in Australia doing some stuff. Um, so they say the weather's extremely nice. I don't know what the weather is here today. I know it's supposed to be like negative something next later in the week, so not looking forward to it, but thank goodness I'm home. Gerald got your large for 2,995 bucks. Where did you find that kind of, man, I hate to even call it a deal. I'll just be honest with you. I hate to call that even a deal because you got to do stuff to it most likely to make sure it's fixed and everything else. That's just my experience. Hopefully it's working great for you. Hopefully you haven't had no issues. But Gerald, that's a pretty good deal. I've heard most people spend about 3,600 bucks for a large, so you getting it for 29.95. That's a pretty good deal for a large unit. So I've seen somebody else, they got offered a large used unit for like 2,400 bucks. Um, it could be good and bad. If there's nothing wrong with the unit, then obviously it's good. If there's freon leaks and stuff, then it's not really worth it. One of these days, I'm gonna try getting Felix on here, see if she'll do a question and answer live for us. But she's currently in Aruba, so but Mary bought both of hers used, great prices, and one was brand new in box, cheap. Man, so we don't find that in Alaska. So I've been looking for cheap machines that I can just fix or whatever because they have issues going on, and I just don't find them. For sure. So I'll keep looking. I have a pretty new machine. In fact, it might be hitting 1 month old here in Alaska. I had listed it for sale, but I listed for exactly what I paid for it, right? Which was like 3,400 bucks. But I did all the fixes, making sure it was running great, stuff like that. Um, but people obviously are looking for a good deal, and they see one that's brand new off the shelf, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is the same exact price." Sure, it is. Other than the fact you don't know what's going on with it, so um, I at least know at least what's going on with this one right now. So um, I haven't registered the warranty. I guess I should probably do that. I was trying not to in case somebody did buy it, because I wanted them to be able to register it. But I guess I should register it. That way, I at least could have parts covered. Um, the Amish currently have the medium for and the large for $29.95. The Amish, and I hate to be sound like a jerk here if I don't really know this. I just don't know this answer. That's mainly all in Philadelphia. Is that right? I sorry if somebody is Amish here. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's Amish throughout the United States. I'm sure there's Amish everywhere, but the vast majority, when you talk about Amish shows and stuff, um, I believe, what was that place called? I can't remember the city, uh, but I'm surprised the Amish haven't created a freeze dryer. Those guys create everything, and they have probably some of the best woodworking stuff, or furniture and stuff when you really think about it. So, are you guys having black gold is a good choice for oil? Yeah, I agree, definitely. When it comes to warranty, how has everybody been experiencing a warranty? So I've heard some people say, "Hey, I waited 5, 6 months for Harvest Right to get back to me." I've heard some people. I heard somebody say, and I don't know how true it is. They got Harvest Right to offer to return their machine in 4 days the other day because their warranty went bad. And I've also seen somebody which cracked me up so bad. They've had issues with their machine for the last couple of months, but they wanted the extra large machine, so they returned it and they're getting a credit and then they're going to pay the difference. Why would you go out and spend extra money on a machine that you've never gotten to work in the first damn place from the company? So it doesn't make any sense to me sometimes what is going on through somebody's head. If you didn't get the first one to work, what makes you think the second, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever is going to work? It just doesn't make any sense. So, um, and yes, I do have slow mode on here. If somebody's trying to like message over and over again, slow mode's on just to make sure that I can keep up with the comments that are truly going on that are in this on the system here. So, um, oil we talked about. Um, what else we got? What else? Software we talked about, obviously. Um, Nobody has any warranty stuff they want to talk about? Any issues or tech support been good? Is it getting better? I don't call them. So, is it getting better? Have you guys used them at all? I know somebody the other day mentioned they put a ticket in, they put like multiple tickets in, and they never got a response in like 3 or 4 days. So, hoping Cheryl, who I made a video about the other day, I need to message her. I'm hoping she finally got her machine fixed or at least getting looked at or something because that was definitely a fire hazard in the machine she had. Um, so, but I really don't plan a lot of stuff to talk about on the lives. Let's be honest. Today, I wanted to go over the warranties. I wanted to go over, obviously, some of the D-free stuff that I found on their website. But other than that, check out their blog. That's definitely my recommendation when it comes to D-frees. When it comes to defreeze, definitely check out their blog. They have a lot of information. And then if you type early access, that's the one that gives you all the information about the new large machine, and then their upcoming medium and small machines. So it says the most energy efficient machine on the market. Their large machine is going to be. So definitely looking forward to that. And then Harvest Right, if you guys are looking at Harvest Right, obviously they have some sales. They always have sales, so never buy their stuff full price. Let's be honest with you guys. If you're looking at buying a Harvest Right, never buy their stuff full price. But even with the sale, I mean, their large machine is $35.95. So I'm going over where Gerald's at and get it for $29.95. Gerald, you need to see what they're going to charge you for an extra large machine, man. Which I hear those things. I got a text earlier. Those things are shipping out finally. I know they got shipped with a design flaw. I'm assuming it's a design flaw, um, and they were having a hard time getting them to get down to vacuum. But which which machine doesn't have a hard time right now? So let's see here. The extra large. Let's see. It looks like 4 to 6 weeks currently out for their pre-order as extra large. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tray system. Trays are definitely larger than the other ones. I'd be worried about how quick I can get this crap out of here, honestly. But yeah. Small machine. I think small machines aren't too bad, as long as you aren't using standard pumps. And don't spend $1,500 on an oilless pump. Don't do it. Don't spend $1,500. Spend that another $800 to get another premium pump or premier pump, whatever you want to call it. Spend the extra $800 there. So, that being said, right? We will always still try getting you guys to get down to 500 mTORs whenever we do freezing or whenever we do your testing, because it's always been what the standard is. So I want to find the leaks when it comes to that. So at the lower mTORs and everything, your nutrition stays better. Your shelf life, my assumption is going to be it's better, right? So, but there's no like long-term stuff that's ever been done on the higher mTORs that they're currently producing at, or that they're claiming. So let's keep trying to get below 500 on your guys' machines. There's only one machine that I've ever touched that I haven't been able to get below 500, or two that I've ever touched that I haven't been able to get below 500 on. One of them I think might be a pump issue, but we're trying to really pick out everything else before we assume that, because the pumps are just so freaking expensive. And then the other one is an older machine. I'm probably going to ask her to switch the pump out because she has another machine. And I'll probably ask her to test that pump out with the other machine, just to make sure we aren't missing something on that end. Because she already changed the relay board. She already changed the CPU, the screen, the epoxy harness got changed. So really the only thing else that there is a change is the vacuum sensor, where it's maybe not vacuum reading it correctly, or the pump just is different. But other than that, her machine should be stuff. Don't send them your money for a Premier, man. If your eliminator works great, just buy another eliminator. Unless that's a harvest rate pump, but buy another eliminator. Don't buy their Premier pump, man. That's my suggestion, Paul. But if you want to update to a software version, I've always been a fan of 16 if you can update that high. 16 is the best in my opinion. I wish they would have just left it at that, and everyone just makes their candy with 16. I'll be honest. I don't think a lot of you guys would have the problems you have. Yeah, Mary, don't, yeah, 16. That's as high as you go. Paul, I know it might be loud, man. I think I'd rather deal with it being loud than deal with some of the pump issues that we have. I found this stupid finger thing. Than dealing with some of the pump issues that we've been seeing. So if your pump, the eliminator, has been working good, I'm gonna look up the eliminator too. So I got a few pumps to really look at now because I think people would rather. I know people want a quieter pump, but if the pump doesn't work properly or doesn't work right, I would much rather have a louder pump. Um, I leave mine out in the garage, so it's not too much. I don't even hear my machine ever when it's running. And my neighbor says she never hears it either. So luckily, our garages are. Sorry, guys. I've been up every 3 4 hours for the last since Monday. So um, just taking care of the wife, but yeah, they don't ever hear it. Yeah. So Paul, I'm just I I'm anti giving them money right now. I'll just be straight up honest, man. Uh, I don't think their customer service is the greatest. I think the product is good once it works properly and it has its fixes done. I think the product works great. I'm just not a fan of their customer service. I'm not a fan of the owner right now. I think he knows there's issues, or if he doesn't, then he's just being told a bunch of lies by people. And I'm not a fan of the vice president, Rich Skaggs. I'm not a big fan of him whatsoever. So I think um, his email traffic that he writes to people is extremely rude, and I don't want to give Harvest Right any more money. And yeah, that being said, if the product works good, which it does a lot of times, right? Once we get it fixed, the product works great. So that's the one thing about it. Uh, yeah, Paul. So I want to see some of these bigger pumps in these machines. I actually am super excited to see some of these bigger pumps. I want to get a bigger pump for mine because I'm wondering if we go with a bigger pump for like say an older machine that like we can't get the epoxy harness off to like get that fixed. If we get a bigger pump, would we be able to get down to the low mTORs that we really need to get? Um, that's something that probably really needs to just be tested. I probably just need to get over it and spend the money and test out. Spending, getting a bigger pump and finding something that will help people with the vacuum issues after they fix vacuum issues or whatever, and they're just out of warranty and all that type of stuff. So I probably will be looking at a bigger pump. That's probably my next purchase. So I refused to buy another freeze dryer from Harvest Right. I I might buy one from Stay Fresh, but I really want to test it out. And I was told I was going to get one, so I really want to test it out, and then in turn, I'll know like truly what I'd be getting into. The Because online it doesn't like point out to me that it's like hugely beneficial, and I'm just being my honest opinion. Um, where the defreeze, like they put out a lot of stuff that like, hey, this is stuff that people are wanting. I put out. I actually talked to William the other day, and he said he saw my video asking what these companies could do to make stuff better, and he talked about he's looking at the comments and seeing, hey, we're still in production. Hey, what can we do? Maybe that it's something we aren't looking at, or is this even feasible to really do? So I think we got that going on for sure. So, yeah, Muddy Dog. What I would do is be careful having that 19 on your system. Um, 17, 18, 19 is ones I typically see people having relay board issues with, and they come out of nowhere, and in turn, you're going to be down if it happens. Or heaven forbid, it actually gets stuck open like some people's, and it actually starts burning food or burning anything else. So I would be careful. Honestly, I think 23 or even 24 is better than 17, 18, or 19. But if you don't need candy mode, like go down to 16. That's my personal favorite. I will always tell you guys that 16 is my favorite, but it does not have candy mode. That being said, I operated a candy business with it. It just takes me longer time to do stuff, but I still managed to fill all my orders to Walmart that they ever had, because I was in 8 out of the 9 stores here in Alaska. So, you guys can definitely grow your business based upon that. Um, so, that being said, this 8 tray system from DFreeze, yo, once I test candy on this thing, you candy makers, that might be the best investment you guys ever make. We'll see how quick we can get some Skittles done and stuff like that. Uh, yeah, Paul, put me in touch with him, man. I would love to see what he's doing. I'd love to see what all he's got going on with that stuff. Mary, I know I need to reach back out to Tim. I need to see, hey, what the status is of maybe getting that Stay Fresh freeze dryer, so I can do a thorough review on it and really just run the heck out of that thing, so I can get you guys some good reviews, unboxing, and all that stuff. There's not a lot of videos on Stay Fresh, so I'm really hoping I can get a hold of that machine here soon. He's probably nervous about shipping it to Alaska. I'll just be honest. So the cost just shipping stuff up here, it can be crazy, especially UPS, FedEx. They actually charge by mile. I'm guessing they charge by the mile or something. The computer figures it out. Um, can get expensive. It's expensive if you don't have contracts with them and stuff like that. And that's why I know Harvest Right has a contract with FedEx. Uh, I was told that by Rich Skaggs. They had a contract with FedEx, and that's why they use them and stuff like that. So, um, what else? What other issues you guys got going on? So, any issues? Any complaints about my page or anything else? Um, hopefully you guys are enjoying most of the videos. I mean, I'm guessing some of you guys are laughing. I know Kevin in Canada, that dude laughs at my videos all the time. Him and his wife will rewatch my videos and just laugh at some of the stuff that I do. So, but I am gonna, and I talked to Betty today. She makes the door pads. So I know there's some negative stuff talked about her group or whatever. But I'll be honest, I've had some talks with Betty, and she is about. So if you guys don't know Betty, like she makes these door pads. Um, so I'm doing a review for her on those door pads. I'll be honest. She wants to help people get the machines up and running, and I truly do believe that. But at the same time, like my personal opinion, right? She owns a business, and that business is based upon her door pads, and she has to at turn play a fine scale. Would be my opinion of not trashing or talking bad about a company that she 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 has her company built off of. In turn, I respect that 100%. And as me and her talked, it's about getting people up and running, and it's not about bashing people, bashing Harvest Ride or nothing on her page. But she's perfectly fine with me trying to help people on her page. If I see something going on, sharing my YouTube video, if there's a YouTube video that might help somebody out. And I respect the heck out of her for just a conversation me and her have had. So if you guys have had bad stuff with her, I'm sorry, but I've had nothing but good conversations with Betty, and I look forward to the longer conversations and hopefully getting a lot of those people that she has running on her platform. If they have issues, I hope we're able to get them back up and running and everything like that. So Mary talked about you can only get 5, 6 to work. It was horrid, and it stopped working too. Uh, which one you talk about? Hey Kevin, man, I just talked about you. You must have heard me talking about you. Um, I work for research. Yeah, yeah, we shouldn't be having these issues. There's not a lot of parts to these machines. We shouldn't be having most of the issues we got. Um, it would take maybe another 300 to really upgrade certain components. There's nothing really affordable about freeze drying stuff. So, uh, yeah. So, Paul, that's my point about probably the defreeze, right? And obviously, I've never touched the machine. I've never even seen it. Like I've only seen what I see online, and I can only and yes, I've talked to the owner for sure. But what I see online and what you guys can see online, like you're comparing an apple to an orange. Like you're not comparing apples to apples anymore. If everything they're able to do and talk about, like their machine should be the Ferrari of freeze dryers, and everyone else has to adjust to try getting up with that company. So it will probably be a slow growth for them, would be my assumption. I don't know. Um, People already talk about Raspberry Pi aftermarket interference. Paul, trust me, there's people talking about your Harvest Right machine every day and how to improve that Harvest Right machine, right? But the problem is a lot of people are in warranty, and all the upgrades that are probably going to be any upgrade that happens, right, is going to pull you out of warranty. But and really, the biggest component, I guess, you'd be worried about your warranty with is your condenser. But as I was telling somebody the other day, if stuff doesn't get fixed and then all of a sudden, heaven forbid, a civil suit, class action suit, Harvest Right goes bankrupt or something, now we're all sitting with machines that don't work and there's no parts to them because you can't go buy the CPUs, you can't go buy the relay boards, all that type of stuff, right? So I'm hoping somebody does truly come out with a fix to or an upgrade, right? We kind of went over an upgrade to the Harvest Right machine that would make it a better quality machine, replacing the components that are, as you said, $200-300. Hey, I'd rather pay $200-300 than have a high quality machine. Kevin, I know you're watching, man. Am I right, Kevin? You'd probably rather have somebody have the correct stuff. Me and Kevin talk actually quite a bit too. We started talking more and more. So Kevin's helped me out with a lot of different stuff, understanding the machines and all that type of stuff. So Kevin, appreciate that, and he is probably like the top commenter on my YouTube videos. So I do appreciate Kevin, everything you and your wife got going on, man. So and I'm moving in this chair a lot. I like to move. I'm sorry. Might confuse somebody else. I know I got somebody else dizzy. They even mentioned it to me when they watched the replay of my last video. So, Kevin, what all do you have that if you're still on with us, man? What all do you have, man? I don't even know if you're using your freeze dryer anymore. I know you're running through the legal aspects in Canada if you can use your freeze dryer. I did get some new documentation, Kevin, via email today about the Canadian stuff that we talked about. Let me go over that with everybody real quick because it's probably definitely beneficial for everybody to know. Because I did mention, let's see. So the CSA documents. So we talk about CSA and them being certified and everything else. Yeah, so if you're in Canada, right? So they are working on their CE certification. However, when I look at this, it talks about the models that are authorized and the models that they have on here. And I'm going to have to write this lady again to talk about this because she highlighted what she believes why her stuff would be good. But it talks about the models, and it talks about pharmaceutical medium, pharmaceutical medium, pharmaceutical large, pharmaceutical large, pharmaceutical small, pharmaceutical small, and then obviously what color they are or whatever, and then a scientific. Those are the only models that actually meet up with this CE certification. So in turn, this is going to be obviously something, and I think somebody could probably really challenge, especially static load tests and stuff like that. And then she highlighted this part here. And then there's another certificate of compliance that's been issued. And this one actually talks about the Harvest Right models, freeze dryer medium, small, freeze dryer, small, and small. So this one doesn't have the large ones, it looks like, on this. Muddy Dog, send me an email, man, or woman, or I don't know. And I'm sorry. hrrepairpro@gmail.com, and I can get you over what I have for 16. It might work for you, it might not. It does for some people, it doesn't for others. Looking at this though, it doesn't have the large ones that say it actually meets the CSA stuff. It's weird that all of a sudden this stuff is now coming out after I make my video talking about it. But yeah, these new certifications. But the large, I do not see anything that says a large is actually certified. That is so they're below are eligible to bear the CSA mark. C for Canada, US for US. However, yeah, it talks about these being refrigerating machines. So have you guys ever considered your Harvest Right a refrigerating machine? I know I haven't, but that's what they have in all their stuff now is refrigerating machines. So I wonder where this. I wonder who actually reviews this crap. So because Harvest Right in the equipment name is Harvest Right in-home freeze dryer, but it confirms the standards of a household refrigerator and freezers and refrigeration system equipment. But I don't know. I'm not some lawyer. Yeah, Sue. So just with the meeting that we'll have on Monday, make sure, I'm sure you answer the questions, right? If you haven't done the Felix fix, I definitely do the Felix fix. And then honestly, because we'll get on FaceTime, the best thing to do is already have your function test done, 30 minutes of freeze and 30 minutes of added vacuum, and then know what that number is and take a picture of it. And then before our meeting, about 30 minutes before or an hour before, if you can actually do those things, right? So turn on your freeze and then turn on your vacuum and have that vacuum as low as possible when we have the meeting. Because if you have vacuum issues, I want to test out and see where we might be able to find some leaks that are happening in your machine. So if you have Windex, that works best to actually do a test on. So same with anybody else, right? So I give the same instructions to everybody whenever I try meeting with them. Try having the Felix fix done, and then do your test, right? So 30 minutes of freeze, 30 minutes of vacuum, add 30 minutes of vacuum. Don't turn your freeze off, and then see how low you get, right? And then if we have a meeting like this one-on-one that Sue just scheduled, what we'll do is have you go down to the lowest vacuum you can just before our meeting starts. And then that way we can spray with Windex if you have low numbers. Now, if you have good numbers, which typically I consider good numbers, I know I always tell you guys I won't below 500, but I consider good numbers really like probably at like 300, a little lower than that, hopefully. And then we won't look for vacuum leaks too much. And then, if you have good numbers, which typically I consider good numbers, I know I always tell you guys I won't below 500, but consider I consider good numbers really like probably at like 300, a little lower than that, hopefully. And then we won't look for vacuum leaks too much. And then we're probably going to adjust some software if we need to. So the software currently only gives people it's only giving people like 5-6 minutes to get down below 500, unfortunately. So, and then, and then, oh, nice. So, oh, okay, Money Dog, I know who you are. I'm reading an email from you right now. So, yeah. So I have your email, man. I'll get you over 16 what I got. So, Kevin, man, just get the wiring bypass done, man. You know how to do all that stuff. Yeah, once you get done, go over the entire electrical system for sure, man. You want to make sure everything's good to go, matching up what you need. So, it looks like me and Muddy Dog will be getting in contact with each other, really trying to figure out some of the stuff for you guys. He seems to be on the same page of a lot of stuff the way I want to move forward with all the support that we're kind of giving you guys. So if we can find what he's talking about and everything, then yeah, we should all be in a lot better position, hopefully, in the future for sure. CE is not recognized in Canada, right? For sure. This is CUS. That's the one that you need for Canada, correct, Kevin? Let me see. CSA appliance. CSA. So that's for the home use ones is CSA. And then the one that I see for the other is only, so it talks about CSA standard, confirms the standards. So I'm confused because this is just signed by like the vice president of engineering, and it says that they meet the standards, but the models that they have, I don't know, Kevin. I'm just confused. I'll shoot this over to my legal team and have my legal team check it out and get back to you, Kevin. So what else we got going on? Sue, did that answer your question about what all we're gonna try to do for our Monday appointment? If anybody else needs appointments, there's a video, as I talked about earlier in this video. There's a video down below that talks about one-on-one. I don't charge for that support. You will get an email probably afterwards asking if you guys want to donate, but I don't charge for that, right? If you can't donate, you don't want to donate, I didn't help you, whatever, then no. I mean, it's all good. I'm still going to help you out. So, so what else we got? Anybody else have anything going on? So I got Kevin, Muddy Dog. I'll get you that version 16 right after we're done with this. Yeah, so Kevin, I have a new Paul, shoot me over an email, hrrepairspro@gmail. Kevin, I have a new certification that I haven't seen before that somebody emailed me. So I'll email it to you, and then maybe you can get it over to DFreeze. So that way they might be able to see what's going on with this too. Because I talked to them about this whole certification thing as well. But it's just weird. So who else? I we have like 10 people online, and we got some people just watching us, man. They aren't even talking. I know some of you guys got questions and stuff like that. So let's hear you guys' questions. No question is dumb. The only dumb question is one that's not answered or asked, because yeah, how can you fix it if we don't know the question? So if you guys have an older machine that has these fittings on the side, I have found that some of these do leak. So I helped somebody the other day. So it looks like their spot was leaking like right in here. And what they did was take out the whole thing, and then they just plugged their hose straight into the machine. In turn, that actually fixed their machine, and we were working on that machine for a while trying to find a leak that unfortunately was actually this right here. So it's always something to consider. I think they're going to cut part of their machine panel so that way they can actually get the hose and everything to slide through. So hydraulic hoses, nobody's mentioned any. I know we mentioned some of it. What's everyone's take on hydraulic hoses? Would it be something that you'd want to upgrade to? Or do I really need to look for a food safe option? Even though, as I talked about, right, all the air is going out towards your pump, it shouldn't really be coming back in this way. If it does, it should be really minute. So hydraulic hoses, they should survive from the multiple companies I talked to, from other freeze dry companies. They would cost right about $100 for the 3-foot one and probably like $110 for a 4-foot one. That's with shipping. And that's if I can get the 4-foot one in a flat rate box. If I can't get it in a flat rate box, then that shipping could go up a tiny bit, but it would probably be like minute, like another $5 or so. But the goal would be 3-foot, which is your standard HR hose, for $100, which would be the hydraulic. It's a really thick hose. It actually has a JIC fitting, the correct fitting that should be going on your machine. It's 3/4 of an inch, so it's a little thicker. Harvest Right used to send out a 3/4 inch. They recently replaced it over the last couple of years. However, there's not a lot of info on why they replaced it. I've talked to some people, and if your freeze dryer works properly, which the proper amount of rings in it and everything like that, there shouldn't be a lot of moisture still going into your machine or into your pump. So, and then if you let your pump obviously stay hot like it should, then you shouldn't be having issues as well. So, would people be interested in that? Because I don't want to buy 30, 40, whatever of these hydraulic hoses, and then I'm stuck with them, and I'm stuck with a big bill if people aren't going to be interested in doing them anyway. So, yeah, Sue. So there's probably our big problem that you're talking about. If you only had 3 rings of ice in the front near your door, how does one get Freon for it? So the biggest question is going to be, are you under warranty? If you're under warranty, then Harvest Right should be taking care of that. If you're not under warranty, then an HVAC company could come out and fill it. And there's an info sheet on Harvest Right's website. When you go down to, let me pull it again, go down to the very bottom of their website, and there's customer support, and then you'll go to refrigeration issues, and then after that, click on if the relay board is not a problem, and then there's a refrigeration repair information download that they can do. So Sue, get a hold of me on Facebook if you have Facebook. If you don't, shoot me over an email with the phone number, and then I'll just call you. But if you have Facebook, I'm Donald Nishand. And on my Facebook photo, it actually has kind of scary looking picture my daughter drew. If you see some old man that kind of has hair on his side, that's my dad. But he'll just tell you that you got the wrong person. But shouldn't be many other Donald Nishands on there, really. So if you're part of the freeze dryer repair support Facebook group, I'm the Donald Nishand that is in that group as well. So, or hrrepairpro@gmail.com is another way to get a hold of me. So, and then once I get that website up, I'll just give you guys my website, right? So it's always going to be fixmyfd.com. So that right there, once I get it fixed, once I get it put together, I'll definitely get that. Mary, if you don't have Facebook, shoot me an email like I talked about. We can always do Zoom or Google Meets or whatever it's called. We can do any of those too. So that way we can get you up and running. So, Kevin, shoot me over an email, man, or shoot me a Facebook message with your email address, so that way I can get you, this paperwork that we were talking about just a little bit ago too. So, what else has everybody got going on? I know somebody else has questions. Peyton, I'm on video. What's up? Kid just got home from school. You gonna go up and see your mom? You gonna go up and see your mommy? Okay, go spend time with mama. All right. Sorry about that. Kids getting home from school. They recently actually just added extra time to all these kids' school days. So because we had so much school that was out, they added 30 minutes extra. So instead of him getting home at like 4 o'clock, now he's getting home at like 4:40, 4:45. So really unfortunate. I actually enjoy spending time with my kids. I know some people might enjoy them being at school. But no, we actually enjoy both of our kids. We got a 7-year-old and a 16-year-old. So definitely got our hands full for sure. So let's see. Well, if we don't get a question in the next minute or so, I'll probably get off of here. But if we do have questions, I want to make sure I give you guys an opportunity to ask them. We'll probably look at doing this again next Saturday or next Thursday, same time, 3 o'clock. It seemed like we had quite a few people on here. If you guys have friends that have freeze dryers that might have questions that they want to talk to somebody, remember, I do not work for Harvest Right. I used to do repair work for them when they would ask me to do repair work. But I have cut my ties with them. So if I suggest you do something, that's on you if you do it right. Most of the stuff I ask you to do is stuff that they've always told me to do, and it would be part of the repair anyway. So if you're doing a Felix fix, they've actually put out a memo that says the Felix fix is something that they approve. So you will not lose your warranty on that. If we talk about the thermistor bypass, that is actually an approved fix that they have done. And I've showed you guys exactly how to do that on a YouTube video as well. So just want to make sure that you guys have all your bases covered when it comes to your warranty. So once you're out of warranty, obviously it's almost like gloves off, right? We can really do some stuff that can really probably make your machine better. But I think that's going to happen here in the next 6 months or so. I would hope somebody is going to come out with improvements for our freeze dryers that we currently are operating. And I'm doing some testing with people. I'm going to get with Muddy Dog about some stuff. I'm going to get with Kevin about some stuff. I'm going to get with anybody who wants to about how do we really increase and make these freeze dryers better. So okay, Kevin, cool. I appreciate the email. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try making some dinner for these turds I got going on over here. No, they're actually really great kids. But I'm going to make some dinner, get the wife taken care of. I hope you guys take care. Have a great night. If you guys have other questions, shoot them to me in an email. That's probably the best. The comments on here, they get blown up really quick, and then I get lost in the comments. I've tried keeping up with them, but it's extremely hard. So, all right, but you guys take care. Have a great weekend. And if you need help, please reach out. And you guys take care.